What's up, everyone? Welcome back to After the Storm. This is the Canes game review for game number 27 of the season, a 2-1 loss to the Vancouver Canucks. In introing this game, Carolina going with 11 forwards, 7 defensemen. Antti Raanta gets the start in the second half of the back-to-back against Thatcher Demko at the other end. As Sebastian Aho comes out of the lineup with an illness, and Jesperi Kotkaniemi comes up the lineup to replace him. Not a bad game from Carolina in this one. I saw a lot of people talking online saying they were playing pretty bad and there was no urgency. I think the team put in a solid 60-minute effort, but they were both parts getting goalied pretty well. Thatcher Demko's very, very good. And being on the second half of a back-to-back, playing 11 forward, 7 defense, you end up running into a lot of these issues. So early on, Svechnikov and Trocheck actually buzzing a little bit in the zone, combined for 2 chances. Pretty good chances, but unfortunately they missed the net. And Raanta at the other end, playing very, very good. Made a few saves in this one, but here's the first one on a nice chance from Vasily Podkolzin. Raanta just there. This was maybe Ranta's best game as a Hurricane so far in his short tenure here, but he was very, very good in this one. Off the face-off, a puck gets shot, a rebound ends up in front of Jesper Fast. He shoots it into the net. Looks like it's a goal, but unfortunately high sticked by Andrei Svechnikov. I mean, this is a pretty obvious high stick. If you look at the replay, it's like 4 feet above Svechnikov's head. No arguments for me on this one, of course. Unfortunately, a disallowed goal that kind of zapped a lot of momentum for the Canes early on in this one. Raanta makes the second big stop of the period on Vasily Podkolzin again. Raanta was really good, man. I'm going to sing his praises a little bit in this one. Right after that, Dowling chance, Raanta with another big stop. And then a tough play here. I think it was Jordan Staal, actually, who just must feel like he's just snake bitten or is pissed off the hockey gods or something. Puck along the half wall, gets chipped off. It hits his shin pad directly and bounces perfectly to the slot. Boeser moves it down low to JT Miller, who moves it right back. Chatfield trying to get over there with a stick, kind of caught in no man's land. Back to Boeser, a perfect, easy one-timer for Brock Boeser. Yeah, he's got his 7th of the year now. 1-0 Vancouver, and really towards the end of the period like that, that's a heartbreaking goal to give up in a period where Antti Raanta played so well. Svechnikov would have a chance toward the end of the period, but that obviously wouldn't really go anywhere. So the Canes head into the first intermission down 1-0. And then as the second period started, Carolina really did start, playing their game, getting a lot more chances. Teravainen chance right off the early on, I should say, into the second period, and then Slavin with a nice dangle. He gets his way to the net, gets a shot off, but of course, big stop there by Thatcher Demko. He just goes off for a pretty weak interference penalty. So Vancouver gets their first power play of the game. Raanta with a couple big saves on this one. Carolina kills it off. And then a parting of the seas almost for Elias Pettersson. He just gets a chance to walk right down Main Street. Perfect shot. Beats Antti Raanta. Can't really fault Antti on any of these goals that were given up in this game because, again, you have Brock Boeser, who's a great shooter in the slot. You have Elias Pettersson, who's a great shooter in the slot. Probably going to get beat those times. So Pettersson gets his 5th of the year. And I think if you're looking at this game objectively, Raanta made some huge saves in the first period, made some huge saves over the course of the game, but really the difference was Carolina wasn't getting as many grade A chances as the Canucks were, and the Canucks seem to right now, with Bruce Boudreau being hired here, and the way his systems work, it just looks like it unleashes offense. And right now, Vancouver probably riding a bit of a bender here, not likely going to keep this up. This probably isn't what they are, but somewhere in the middle. And honestly, they're scoring a lot of goals on the first shot right now. Jordan Staal ends up with a chance, but he's still very clearly snake bitten. He cannot get much going right now. Seth Jarvis right after as well hits the post. JT Miller would hit the post to the other end. Tyler Mott with a nice chance, but Raanta makes a good save, and that is how we'd end the second period Carolina heads into the third frame, down 2-0. And early on into the third, a nice passing play. Seth Jarvis works it over, coming into the zone on the offside to Martin Necas. Necas looks like he's going to shoot right away. Dekes it over to his backhand, slides it through the 5-hole of Thatcher Demko. And we got a close game now, 2-1, as Necas gets his 7th of the season. Jarvis, nice assist. Looks like Kane's got a chance in this one. Necas gets tripped right after. Carolina heads to the power play. Not a whole lot would happen on this one, unfortunately. The power play just isn't really clicking all that well at the moment. And towards the stretch, again, I think people, if you're looking at this game and blaming Antti Raanta for any of it, not the way to go. He made 4 or 5 more huge saves down the stretch to keep the Canes in it. Horvat and Lammikko with those chances. Raanta just standing tall, keeping his team in it. And as Raanta would approach getting pulled here with about 2 minutes to go in the game, one stat really showed, and it was noticeable if you were watching the game and you're really paying attention to what Vancouver was doing. The Vancouver Canucks, at this point of the third period, a few minutes left in the game, had 23 blocked shots. So not only is that a team that's playing for each other right now, that's just a team that is committed defensively to keeping high-grade chances away from their goaltender, and they're doing it very well. So 23 blocks, an outstanding effort from the Canucks in this one. Raanta pulled with 2 minutes to go. So Teravainen would get a chance. Demko with a nice save at the other end. Jacob Slavin absolutely decks Vasily Podkolzin. A huge hit. Leading back the other way to Andrei Svechnikov, that power forward move that he's been using so much this season. He gets a chance, gets in on Demko, but a great stop by Thatcher Demko. Time runs out. Vancouver takes this one 2-1 in regulation. So let's get into some player analysis. First off, let's kick it off with the good. Necas in this game, honestly, probably the best Kane on the ice, I think. His skating, his ability to handle the puck, he's just getting more and more comfortable, and that's really, really good to see. Gets the goal in this one, too. The nice pass from Seth Jarvis, who we'll highlight here in a second. Comes across, nice backhander through the wickets of Thatcher Demko as well. Seth Jarvis had tons of chances. Looked like he certainly recovered from the Edmonton game. I thought he had a really bad game in that one. Not so much talked about on the broadcast because they thought he played pretty good, but I thought he was pretty aimless in the Edmonton game, and this was a nice recovery game for him. Hit the post, had a few chances, gets the assist on the Necas goal. And of course, Antti Raanta, what else can you ask for from a backup goaltender who comes in? He made fantastic saves. Again, he gets beat by the 2 best shooters on the Vancouver Canucks, point blank in the slot. I didn't have anybody who was really average in this game. Nobody really stood out as having wow, you're having a mediocre game. And that even includes Jordan Staal, who I thought, it just looks like he's snake bitten. At some point it's going to go in, and hopefully it does, and hopefully that's soon. And also in the bad category, I didn't have anybody. I thought this was a really good game from Carolina, and just an unfortunate circumstance with Aho coming out of the lineup, who scored so many points, been on so much of the offense as of late. Losing Aho out of the lineup is unfortunate, and we'll get into that in a bit. But nobody bad in this game for me. I thought it was a great effort, and tough loss, of course, because Raanta played so well. And to highlight a Canucks player, I'm going to highlight Vasily Podkolzin. Not just because of getting decked by Jacob Slavin, but he, throughout the first probably 40 minutes of this game, he had a handful of grade A chances. Raanta stopped all of them. But yeah, this is a guy who is just getting better and better as it goes. And he's really going to be something for the Vancouver Canucks. So as we got news on Monday is... Sebastian Aho, Seth Jarvis, both are in COVID-19 protocol for the Carolina Hurricanes. So they stayed behind in Vancouver this past week in order to isolate and make sure their tests are negative. I know that Max Lajoie was reassigned to Chicago. So that's an aspect that to look into, which would lead me to believe that Pesce and DeAngelo were coming back into the lineup against Minnesota. But with Aho and Jarvis now into the COVID-19 protocol, Andrew Podorowski is coming up, who's leading the AHL with, I think it's 34 points in 21 games so far. He's having an excellent season down in Chicago. He's going to get the call up to come in and play, and it looks like most likely another 11 forward 7D type of game, depending on how Rod wants to deploy, because we do have Brendan Smith, who has that ability to go in between and play both forward and defense. So it'll be interesting to see exactly how that shapes up for this next game. Minnesota is a team that is on fire. Again, we're walking into another juggernaut game without Aho, without Jarvis. So this is going to be a test for sure. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video today, give it a thumbs up down below. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel and hit that notification bell. If you do, you'll get these videos as soon as they upload. And as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. The game Tuesday night against the Minnesota Wild.